Welcome Chelsea fans to the Chelsea news update here on the channel. It's not going to be 5 minutes because there is so much to feature over the last couple of days. Transfer links, new contract information, Lukaku, will he stay, will he go? Obviously loads of opinion on that. And obviously the situation with what's happening in Ukraine and Abramovich. There is so much on here to feature. Make sure you stay tuned right to the very end. I'll get straight to the point on each story, no waffle. For now, let's get cracking. First and foremost, Chelsea set a record, a European record in the European Cup to win 5 games in a row, 5 home games in a row with 5 clean sheets. They've done that against Real Madrid, Zenit, Malmo, Juventus and Lille. Now, a major contributor to those performances has been Thiago Silva, who's been absolutely outstanding. On the other night, Thiago Silva gave a world-class, dominant performance and literally just set the benchmark for everybody in the future. It was that good. And he's been talking and explains that he's living in a dream at Chelsea. And it's so good to hear. He joined, obviously, he played his career over in Italy and PSG as well, over in France. He came over to England and a lot of people were making out the fact that he's very old and, you know, and this sort of thing. Can he cope with the Premier League? And the guy has been just different class. He said this when he was talking after the game. He said, I feel like I'm living a big dream here at Chelsea. I've not expected that it would be like that. The fans support me and constantly sing my name. Oh, Thiago Silva. Every moment, every nice bit of play defensively. It's magical and it feels like a dream. I'm really proud to play for Chelsea and their fans. And that is so good to see and so good to hear. The guy is just different class and he's been integral ever since he turned up at Chelsea. Transfer news now, and news that Chelsea have been scouting Max Killman, the Wolves centre-back who's been impressive over the last couple of seasons, and he's a boyhood Chelsea fan. Now, is it a case of putting 2 and 2 together to get 5, or is there actual genuine interest with reports that he has been scouted? So I wonder, but Killman is someone that's got a lot to develop. I think looking from afar out and not really seeing him week in, week out, but what I have seen of him, he's quite a tall, rangy guy. He's quite strong, good in the air. I wonder, is he going to be an option at the end of the season? Somebody else linked with a move back to Chelsea is Eden Hazard on a potential loan deal from next summer. Now, Real Madrid have got big plans in the transfer window at the end of the year, as we keep reading with Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland. The dream for Real Madrid. We all know their skint. We all know that they're focusing on loans from the banks over in Spain, and they're getting those loans somehow, and they'll be able to afford this scandalous amount of money they're paying their players. Gareth Bale, for example. I mean, Hazard himself is on a reported £350,000 a week. As we know, for Hazard, with injuries, it's not worked out at Real Madrid, and under Carlo Ancelotti, he finds himself benched most of the time, and he's 32 now. And it's coming to a point where he wants to be playing football. And Chelsea, as part of the contract and part of the agreement with Real Madrid, would have first refusal. And it's being discussed of a potential loan move because we've heard previously Thomas Tuchel's been a massive fan of Eden Hazard over the years. Can he come back to Chelsea and have an influence next season as part of a potential 1 or 2 year loan arrangement? Would you take him back? I would. Shock reports have appeared in the last 24 to 48 hours claiming that Man United have now entered the race for Toni Rudiger, who is hopeful of signing a new contract at Chelsea. Chelsea and Rudiger's contract talks are reportedly broken down because he's asking for a reported £225,000 a week. Whether or not Chelsea are going to give him that is yet to be seen, with the likes of PSG, with Bayern, who've distanced himself from Rudiger and his wage demands. But other big clubs worldwide are looking at him, and Man United have joined the race apparently on a free transfer amid doubts over Harry Maguire. Old slaphead over at Man United hasn't been impressive, has he? The club captain's been awful. Rudiger is someone they want to replace him with on a free. Hopefully it doesn't happen and Chelsea keep hold of him. What do you think about that? Post your comments of any stories so far in the comment section below. News on contracts now, and Cesar Azpilicueta's contract. Chelsea have reportedly got an option to extend his contract for an additional year moving into next season, but it's up to them whether or not they decide to do so. I guess after 10 years at the club, Chelsea will give Cesar Azpilicueta the decision to make whether he wants to stay or whether he wants to return back to Spain, with the likes of Barcelona and Xavi over there really pushing to try and sign him. I think that Cesar Azpilicueta has been outstanding. It's been just different class for Chelsea. He's won everything. For £7 million signing from Marseille back in 2012, 2013, the guy's been outstanding. And if he wants to go, I think he can go with our blessing. Hopefully he'll stay another season, just to his influence and just his professionalism on that training pitch. We keep hearing about it. The guy's attitude is first class, and he's the example for everyone else to follow, along with Thiago Silva. But if he does decide to go, then I think the club will just give him their blessing, as we all should. So, to the fallout now from midweek and Romelu Lukaku being dropped from the Champions League game against Lille. There's been a number of different pundits having their say. Now, some of those pundits have been Rio Ferdinand, Joe Cole and Jamie Carragher. And Rio Ferdinand described Kai Havertz's best position as a number 9 as a big problem for Chelsea if that is the case when it comes to Lukaku. Joe Cole backed up the Rio Ferdinand's comment on BT Sport with the coverage the other night and said it's a huge problem. Think about his form at the end of last season when he was able to drop off and runners going behind him. His best position is the number 9, but that's bad for Lukaku. He claimed that Kai Havertz, this is Joe Cole, Kai Havertz reminds him of a Roberto Firmino type player, someone that knits it all together. He would have been a nightmare to mark tonight for Lille, and he was outstanding, Kai Havertz. And there's been more fallout from there, and it's now Jamie Carragher who's talking. And Jamie Carragher believes that he won't be at Chelsea next season, Lukaku. And he explains why ruthless Chelsea will axe him, and he said this: I think it's a big thing at the weekend. We're talking about the cup final now. We don't know yet to see what the team's going to be. But I think if Lukaku not playing the Champions League knockout game, then not playing in a cup final would be alarm bells if I was Lukaku. He's not the type of player you can have on the bench. I don't believe that. I don't believe he'll be on the bench long term. We are seeing that with Timo Werner right now, but Lukaku's a bigger name, a bigger presence and a better player than somebody like Werner. If they go with Havertz on almost like a different system, like a false 9, then I don't think we're going to see Lukaku at Chelsea next season. Lukaku himself has got no plans to leave Chelsea and will fight to win his place back, according to Jacob Steinberg in The Guardian. But in saying that, we've got an additional report that's come out of Italy from Calcio Mercato that's actually said Lukaku wants to leave Chelsea and will escape the Thomas Tuchel cage, which is interesting. The comment from them claims that he wishes to return. He wanted to go back to Inter last January, which didn't happen, and he's going to push for the exit again in the summer. Whether or not Inter will take him back, because they need to reduce his wages in order for him to do so. One report says he's willing to fight for his place, the other said he wants to leave. Your guess is as good as mine. But in saying that, however, Cesar Azpilicueta has come out in defence of Romelu Lukaku and Thomas Tuchel ahead of this weekend's game, and he said this. He said the manager makes his decision, the best for every game, so against Lille, Romelu didn't play. But now I know preparing for the final, every player will have a chance, so we have to show that we deserve to be there, and then the manager makes the best decision for the team. He is having a tough period. However, we cannot forget that he scored 2 goals in the Club World Cup, in the semi and the final, so you know he can do it at a high level. Us players go through tough moments, but we cannot forget that he also played a big role in that Club World Cup. When he was talking about the fact of Lukaku getting goals and being consistent with his form, he said, of course Romelu is the first one who wants to give more for the team. Every player has their problems when you can be at your best or not, but I have no doubt that Romelu is a very important player. The captain's come out and backed him. The big focus will be on whether or not he starts the game on the weekend against Liverpool. What do you think? Post your comments in the comments section. Finally, to the situation in Ukraine and Russia's invasion, and as you would have seen by now, Chris Bryant, the Labour MP, has called on the government to strip Roman Abramovich from his UK assets, which also includes Chelsea. Based on reports back in 2019, which I'm not going to go into, you guys have all seen it, but they're talking about the fact that he should be banned from owning a football club, owning Chelsea. He should have his home, his £152 million home in Kensington taken off of him, and his other UK assets, and be banned from the country. This situation is going to escalate, as we know, with a situation that's just not good at all over in Ukraine, and Abramovich is under fire. and we have to consider it. We have to focus on it. He's been called to be banned from being in the UK and from owning Chelsea, and we have to wait to see what's going to happen. So guys, that's it from me. The extensive Chelsea news roundup here on the channel. It's been so much to focus on. I couldn't just do it in 5 minutes, as you've seen. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, drop a like on the video for me, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you think about anything that's been covered in the video. But also, when you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified when my videos come out. I'll be back with live match commentary, the Carabao Cup final, Chelsea versus the Bin Dippers on Sunday, 15 minutes before kickoff. Look out for the link. I'll give you ball-by-ball match coverage. Thank you for watching. Have a good Friday and a good Saturday, and I'll see you guys for the final.